Hello everyone, and welcome back to Project Zomboid. Bit of another foggy day. I'm sure Selena is very unhappy with that. But it is what it is. We've just got off the back of our brand new car gathering adventure. I mean, not much of an adventure, it was, just down the road. But either way, I'm pretty satisfied with the results of it. As well as the books that we've gotten. I haven't yet marked them off on the map. My apologies, I'm lazy, and I always forget about that. I'll get it done soon. It doesn't really matter for right now anyway, because we're probably not going to be going out much for the coming days. We've got a lot of work to do around here if we're going to, finish setting this place up. Plus, I've got to keep in mind the potential issues with food coming down the line. I mean, it may seem kind of silly to say, because we do have, like, cupboards full of food and a decent amount of meat in the freezer, but it's not really that much food for, considering that we don't have farming really set up at all yet, so I might have to see about working on that at some point. For the time being, though, I think this is going to be a kind of skippable day. I need to finish this carpentry book if I'm going to work on any of the carpentry stuff, so I'm going to go and finish reading that, I think. Hold on a second. Okay. Let's just check on something there. It's all good. Okay, so yeah, I'm gonna go finish reading the Carpentry 3 book, and then we're going to work on some carpentry. Alright, and we're back. It's, just past noon now. And, we finished the Carpentry Volume 3 book, which I've forgotten to drop, because I'm done with it. And I am very good at making messes. Okay, so we've got the Carpentry XP boost sorted. We're ready to actually use our Carpentry skill again. But first things first, Selena is quite hungry, and I don't want her weight to drop again, so let's see about getting something to eat. Now that I think about it, the food I made like a, what was it, some sort of soup or something like that, if I remember right, last episode, is in the camper. So let's go and just eat that real fast. It's just in the fridge, if I remember right, which means it'll go bad eventually. Okay, we're still chilling. Nothing untoward going on out here with our campers. That's always good. Okay, enter. There we go, beans and vegetable soup. Let's just chow down on that. I'm very satisfied with the camper. I mean, I probably made that clear in in the previous episode, but I really like this. It's really nice. Once I get this, like, actually stocked up, I think this is going to be a pretty fun little toy to mess around with. Still unsure about how far I'm willing to go with the whole camper, living out of it sort of thing with this series, but I definitely think it's going to be very useful for some further afield travels. Now that, like, Rosewood is completely cleared out for the most part, I mean, like, of useful things. I'm not expecting to go into any more, like, close places. Any places that I'm going to be going to from now on are probably going to be, like, multiple day affairs, and that thing is going to be very useful for that. So, let's fill up the cooking pot. Just a good practice. It doesn't hurt to leave this cooking pot full of water lying around. And, it'll save me a little bit of time later when I'm, starving and I need to make food. Let's fill up our canteen, because it's gonna be a bit busy here. We're gonna have to go chop some more trees down, so we're gonna get to that. The wood axe is in the shed, if I remember right. I don't have denim jeans in my backpack. What's going on there? Actually, though, why the hell do I have denim jeans in my backpack? I must have picked them up from a zombie or something by accident when I was trying to grab, like, a watch, if I had to guess. So one slight concern is that we're kind of running out of trees in our local area here. There's some more on this side of the wall, which I'm gonna use, probably, but we're getting closer and closer to the point where I'm gonna have to venture behind the safety of these walls to go get planks. I just came back in here because I forgot about the trolley. Take the trolley with us, and it'll help us move the logs around easier. I'm going to use the trolley to move the logs rather than turning the logs into planks where they drop and then moving them, because it's easier to, in my opinion at least, it's easier to just put the logs on the trolley, bring them to where they're going to be used as planks, and then turn them into planks there. Okay, so we drop the trolley here. We realize that the axe isn't actually here. Oh, God, it must be on the ground outside somewhere. Oh, why do I do this to myself? It's probably over here because this is where, yeah, there it is. I remember I was using it to, like, emergency do these walls after I took them down to bring the vehicles in. And I just sort of left it over here on the ground. So we still got these cars to mess around with. These things aren't useless. I'm still going to be using them for mechanics XP. At some point. I do need higher mechanics levels to not only keep the, the two vehicles that we now care about in decent condition, but also, I'm gonna eventually add things to them, especially the Humvee. There's a lot of, like, since it's a modded vehicle, there's a lot of, like, armor and stuff like that you can add to it. So I'm going to, I'm definitely going to be doing that at some point. So, what was I getting at? Yeah, I'll still be using those two vehicles, the two kind of crappier ones, to, boost my skills. Oh, actually, we got more trees here than I thought. They were being hidden by the fence. That's always good. Almost at the limit for chopping. I gotta be concerned as well, because we are making a lot of noise here. If there's any zombies around this side of the wall, they can definitely hear this. I don't hear anything, though. No, like, walking or anything like that, so I think we're alright. No need to be, overly panicky at this stage. We're still, like... This setup with these houses is so unnaturally safe once you have walls up like this. It's kind of odd. I'm more, like, it's rare in Zomboid, unless you're playing, like, in the middle of nowhere in a farmhouse, to be, like, this safe while doing lumber work. Usually, even though this is, like, extremely tedious to do, like the, chopping down trees, turning them into planks, and then moving the planks around and stuff, it's tedious work, and normally you kind of want to, like, brain autopilot it, but, like, it's kind of hard to do that in Zomboid, or at least it's kind of hard to do that safely, just because typically, tree line areas and, like, areas with heavy forestation are really dangerous when it comes to, like, zombies just being around, because it's hard to notice them with all the sound, and, like, the trees can rustle by themselves just from the wind as well, so that's not always, like, a guaranteed, like, oh, there's something pushing through the trees there or something. So it's always kind of like a weirdly stressful, boring situation to be in doing, the basics of carpentry, getting all the wood and stuff. So we're gonna leave the logs over here, because this is where we're gonna use them. At least these 5, plus what we got here. Honestly, we probably need a little more, just based off of my gut feeling. We'll see about that, though. I need to bring some over to the house, because, like, this upper landing area needs to be extended a little bit. But, well, actually, we're definitely going to need more over here, because now that I remember, I wanted to add a, kind of, like, parapet to these, so that I can see over the walls without having to see through them, which kind of makes that window redundant, but it was already pretty redundant when I couldn't add bars to it, because I wasn't behind the whole metalworking. I mean, it's fine. It's not that big of a deal. Just a little bit of wasted resources. No biggie. That's one nice thing about Zomboid and in sandbox single player like this is that wasting a little bit of resources usually doesn't matter. I mean, there's like a certain point where the abundance of resources is kind of overshadowed by like the added danger of forcing you to go out of your comfort zone and potentially to make mistakes, right? So like anything that forces me out of I didn't realize, yeah, my right glove is screwed. Anything that forces you out of your base to do something, especially like if it's on like a short-term notice sort of thing where it's like all of a sudden you're like, oh shit, I need to do this like now, is very dangerous in Zomboid. So I'm not too worried about that when it comes to this specific situation anyway. I don't really think that it's anything like we're in any real danger. Like my biggest concern right now is just the food situation. Like water is pretty much sorted. The if anything, the water collectors are maybe a bit too good in this game. Like once you have a setup like this, it's like unless I go insane and have to use a lot of water, or the game is just like, haha, no more rain forever, then like the odds of me running out of water are so low. Especially with like so many houses around here still having water in the, you know, the sinks and the toilet tanks. It's like, you know, the odds of me actually running out of water are not an issue. So then, you know, what's the next on the hierarchy of needs, right? Like, I mean, the next concern is food, which, I mean, we have a decent amount right now. Not great, but we have an okay amount. The biggest issue with that is just that, we're not in a good position for the hunting mod because it does actually, like, care about you being away from, like, cities and stuff, I think. And as far as farming goes, I haven't started it. So, you know, that's a slight concern. But farming in Zomboid is also kind of very powerful, like borderline overpowered. Just because it's like, there are mechanics that try to, put some randomness into it and like reduce your, like using just crop diseases and stuff like that. But there's so many easy ways around it. Literally just like, don't plant crops next to each other. Just like, put a gap between each one, then diseases can't spread. And like the food that you make is kind of too powerful. Like, if you've ever seen anyone do like a Zomboid challenge run, you'll probably see like if they end up needing to do farming, then they'll probably just make cabbages, and then you can literally just grow like a couple sets of cabbages and eat them for ages, and it's absurd the amount of calories you get from them. Not to mention, like, there's no real penalties in this game for just eating like rotting cabbages, which is kind of silly to say, but like if you need to, you can have your character just survive off rotten cabbages for like a long time. And there's no, I mean, there are downsides to it, right? But like they're not strong enough, in my opinion. Which is weird to say, because like Zomboid is not an easy game. Like, it's very easy to just suddenly die in Zomboid. But there are some aspects of it which are kind of like, I don't know. I feel like you'll see a lot of people like in the community talk about like how late game Zomboid is kind of boring. Like there's nothing really to do. Like once you're like settled in, you've got everything set up, and I should have just went through the thing. And you've got like, farming set up, and you've got all your like your needs met. That like people get bored and just like stop playing that save or whatever. And like I get that. Like this is kind of like what I mean by like the farming being kind of too overpowered. I mean, part of this has to do with the lack of, like, an endgame in Zomboid, really, right? So, like, without mods, if I'm ignoring mods, because there are some things that the mods do add to, like, get you to do stuff, right? Like, developing the cure is an obvious, like, end game thing. It requires a lot of time and effort. You gotta find a lot of resources and, like, different manuals and stuff like that, and you gotta make a bunch of different crafting stations and stuff. Like, that's a difficult, like, end game thing to do. But the base game doesn't really have that. The only thing you can do really in base game Zomboid, like, even to this point, is just projects. Like, coming up with, like, ideas. Like, oh, I want to build, like, you know, like a completely custom base in the woods or whatever. Or, like, you know, oh, well, you know what, I need a challenge. I'm going to move to Louisville and, like, try and, like, eke out an existence suddenly in Louisville, right? Like, those are things that you can make yourself do as, like, self-imposed challenges, but Zomboid doesn't really have, like, any kind of end game as of right now. So, I mean, obviously that's going to be changing at least to an extent with the upcoming builds. Probably a little bit less so much with the next one. I mean, there's going to be some new, like, skills and stuff like that. There's going to be the new animals, which is, you know, really neat, and I love that. But, I'd say more like the NPC update, like the actual, like, other, like, human NPCs. Update is probably more impactful for that. I mean, it sort of depends on what the devs are going for. And, of course, like, each Zomboid build you gotta take into account is, like, never really just, like, only the headline thing, right? Like, yeah, next build is the one that's gonna add, like, you know, animal AI and stuff like that, and that's, like, probably, like, the biggest headline feature of it. But there's also, you know, gonna be a lot more other stuff that they add with it as well that'll add some more variety. And that's sort of the, you know, the goal, I think, right? Because I will say that it's definitely one of Zomboid's weaknesses. I know I'm rambling here about this, but, like, the end game is definitely one of Zomboid's weaknesses, unless you either are creative and willing to go outside the survival box when it comes to, like, what you're gonna do with your end game, or you use a lot of mods, or some, you know, some very good mods. Because I mean, like, you know, there's tons of mods that even I'm not using with this playthrough, which is partially the desire to keep the load order safe and not, you know, obliterating my frame rate, but partially it's also just because of, like, it's hard to really, like, remember and go through and know all of the good mods, especially when I spent so much time modding other games. Like, I'd say that I'm pretty good with, like, knowing, like, if you were gonna say, like, oh, do you know every mod for this game? I'd say the only one I'm probably confident with that with is, like, RimWorld, because it's just how much I play that game and, like, how well I know the modding in that game. But, I couldn't say the same for Zomboid. So, anyway, we're gonna drop the wood axe over here. But yeah, a lot of really cool mods for this game. Definitely recommend checking them out. Not necessarily if you're a new player, because I mean, I think the base game Zomboid does have a lot to teach you, a lot to go through and learn, just on its own. But it can definitely help spice up further playthroughs, as is evident by this one, because I'm using a lot of mods. Okay. Selena's actually, like, super tired, not surprising. I mean, she was chopping down trees all day at high exertion, you know. But she's not quite done yet, and it's still, you know, too early for her to sleep, so we're gonna just go over and saw some of the logs down, at least until she's too tired. And yeah, she's hitting high exertion just by walking, which is pretty rough. But let's see what we can do with the logs. See if we can't... Yeah, because this doesn't actually take exertion, which is nonsense, honestly, because sawing logs into 2x4s is definitely not an easy job. But, you know, I'll take the conceit that makes somehow sense, because it makes it so that I can actually get this done and not have to waste another day just sawing logs. So yeah, this is a bit of a kind of like rambling, just sort of doing stuff in the background day, but we got everything we needed to done for the I was just listening there. We got everything we needed to do for the basics here. Now we've got all the planks ready to upgrade the walls, which is going to be tomorrow's task. And then I'll see about the whole parapet operation. Should be pretty easy. I think I can literally just make a staircase and then build build flooring at the top along the edge of the thing. That should be fine. And then I don't know, I'm able to railings on the other side of the thing just to stop myself from being stupid and falling to my death. I mean, I wouldn't die from that height, but I might fall into like a zombie or something. Okay, so we need to eat something. So let's do what? No, you know what? I'm not gonna do any cooking. I'm just gonna eat some canned potato. Selena is super tired, and I don't really want to put her through anymore. I need to... Alright, you know what? Before we go to bed, I'm just going to quickly... I'm not going to deal with this now necessarily, but I'm putting all these cans in my inventory so that I can throw them out tomorrow. Because I don't need any of this crap, and I don't want to leave it here. So the only other thing, real quick, I want to do is for tomorrow, I want to grab nails. I'm probably going to need more than that, but we'll see. We have a hammer, right? Yeah. Do I have any nails lying around on the floor here? I do. Okay. And with that, I'm going to let Selena go and get some rest, because even with wakeful, this is going to be a long sleep for her, because she is super tired. And I'll see y'all in the morning when we're going to finish our carpentry work. Alright, well, here we are. Day 2 for this video, and the damn wakeful trait, even with her being, Selena being ridiculously tired, still managed to wake me up at a little too early at 5. But we can work with it. It's not that big of a deal. As it stands now, we need to eat again. So we're actually rested. Let's turn the light on. Let's do a little bit of cooking. You know, I so rarely actually do cooking in these. I mean, I guess I've done it a couple times now. So I think we're gonna do some pasta. Pasta's always a good starting point for these. I probably mentioned, like, everything I can about this beforehand, so I'm not gonna talk too much through about, like, what I'm doing here, but, definitely recommend that if you're thinking, like, you know, you're looting a place and you see some pasta, yeah, it's, like, kind of difficult to, it takes up a decent amount of weight, like a surprising amount maybe, but pasta lasts you so long. Like one set of pasta that you find can last you, frankly, an absurd amount of meals in this, so I highly recommend taking it when you can. Same thing with, like, the dried beans, any of the types of beans. Very nice. We already have butter in this. I'm not gonna add any margarine, although I could for extra. I'm not doing cooking oil either. Alright, this is good enough. Vegetable and bean pasta. Decent meal. I'm not claiming to be any kind of expert on cooking in Zomboid. I'm certainly not. Usually I'm not the one who handles the cooking, really, that often in multiplayer. But, you know, you can... Hello? Thought I clicked turn off. You can still manage to give your character decent enough meals, just by doing what I'm doing here. Just being like, you know, take a pot of water and just throw a bunch of crap into it and then cook it. Easy enough. Yeah, us actual humans out here in the real world might think, man, that's a gross combination for a lot of the crap that you can make, but, like, you know, what are you gonna do, right? Calories are calories when it's, when you're in a survival situation. Okay, well, it's foggy out again. Jesus. Honestly, this is maybe too foggy. I mean, the nice thing is we're pretty safe in here. But, like, damn. I'm gonna be making noise, too. Alright, I think instead of, yeah, because Selena's already starting to get panicked. And you know what? I kind of don't want to put her through this. This isn't a roleplay or immersion series, really, but, I don't want to deal with that. That's a little too much fog. So I think instead I'm going to have Selena do some light exercising, and then we'll be back when the fog clears so we can actually work on our carpentry. Alright, and we are back. It's 11:20 now, so, we were, oh, yeah, this keeps startling me every time I see it. It's the window. It felt like we were, guest starring in the mist there for a while. But, we made it out. Just got a, decent amount of burpees done, so Selena's definitely gonna be feeling that later. But for the time being, we're ready to go. Back to work here. I keep getting startled every time I look, because, like, when I'm inside the window one here doesn't show up, so it always keeps making me think the zombies have broken the wall down. But, yeah, so nothing really important happened there. There was, like, a gunshot meta event, but I don't think anything really is going to come of that, so... So, as far as these walls go, we're going to be upgrading them to level 2, so we need some planks in our inventory. Let's take, like, 5, because it doesn't really require much. And I don't want to overload Selena too much there. You can see our attire looks a little different. I took off a lot of Selena's heavier armor, because, you don't really want to be wearing a lot of heavy gear when like, heavy-duty gear when you're doing exercises, because you'll, overheat your character pretty easily. And that's what happened, is, like, I wasn't really, like, thinking about it. I started the first set of burpees, and, Selena went hyperthermic, so... He was getting heat stroke, so I had to take off, a bunch of her gear. Now, normally I would have already put it back on, but I think we're relatively safe inside here. This is what we call a bad decision. So don't do this. If you're gonna care about wearing gear to maintain your safety in a combat situation in this game, make sure you're just wearing that gear, even if you think you're pretty safe, unless it's like to your own detriment. I mean, that's sort of the issue with wearing, like, like firefighter gear and stuff like that, is that until winter, it's just too hot to really wear that stuff long term. So it's kind of an issue. But can I actually make the, I can make the better door frame. Is this... Yeah, I can make the better door frame, but I can't make the better door. Can I just upgrade the door frame? I don't think so, right? Though, because the door is in it. I mean, whatever. I can just remake the door. Who cares? No big deal. Now, can I upgrade the door frame? Yeah, okay. I thought that was the case. Just upgrade the door frame now, and then I can just rebuild the door. That is assuming that I got... Oh, yeah, I didn't think about that. I didn't get enough hinges and shit back to actually build that door, though, did I? Nope. I need a hinge and a doorknob. Alright, well. Time to go out. This is foolish, because I'm not wearing all of my armor. I mean, I'm wearing most of it still. I just took off the firefighter jacket and, I was wearing 2 shirts, apparently. I didn't realize that. I was wearing this denim shirt, which gives a little bit of protection, and I was wearing a random t-shirt, I guess, that I started with and just didn't think about. So yeah, I didn't realize that. Or rather, Selena was wearing that, not me. But, yeah. Definitely should have been keeping a clearer eye on what I was wearing, but, you know, at least I figured it out now. Alright, yeah, so we've got enough hinges and a doorknob now, so, nope, don't want to make any form plots. Although I should be doing that soon. Maybe I'll work on that on the next day. Or maybe even today if I have enough time. Because we need to start farming. I think we've got, like, pretty much everything we need to get going with that, and I should be growing something to supplement our food. Okay, I believe we need, like, 3 planks. This is gonna over-encumber us to the point of pain, but it's fine, we're at full HP, so I'll just take it for a minute here while I build this door. There we go. Get this put in. Eventually, I'll probably get rid of this window because it's kind of unnecessary, kind of pointless, but there we go. For now, that's one of our 2 walls upgraded to tier 2 at least. Still kind of looks like shit. I mean, especially compared to the tier 3 walls, which I can't really show, but they, you know, the tier 3 walls are pretty much just, you know, solid, well-made looking walls. So definitely would prefer to have those, but unfortunately we need carpentry 7, I believe, right, for those. So that's going to be a bit, because we're only at carpentry 4 and a slight bit above. Oh, these poor folks have gone gross. Might as well give them all these empty cans. Okay. I'm not going to do the door over here for the time being, honestly. Probably not going to do it at all, because we don't have the hinges and knobs for it, but... So I'll probably end up upgrading the door frame here later, but I'll do the rest of the walls here first, and then we're going to work on the hopeful parapet. It's probably not considered an actual parapet, because I think parapet has to be made out of stone, but, like, you know, the concept is the same. It's going to be a nice little walkway above the wall where we can see out without having to put ourselves in danger. Is that going to be... yeah, okay. Need 3 more? Alright, just about done. Okay, then. I love it when the character is just like, let's work on it from outside. That just looks more fun to me. Like, no. Stop, you... Yeah, there you go. Selena showing that even after all of these days of surviving the apocalypse, that she has, functionally 0 self-preservation skills. Okay. So, let's see about what I was talking about here. So... yeah, so I need to build stairs for... oh, we need level 6 carpentry for stairs. Okay, so the whole parapet idea hinged on that, and can't do that yet. So, we need to grind 2 more levels of carpentry before we can actually do that idea. That's fine. I'm not too worried about it. We really haven't had that many issues with zombies showing up at the walls as of yet. I think it only happened, like, once when I was chopping wood that one time. So, I think that's fine. Alright, so let's start looking... definitely not with hands. Let's go get a shovel, and let's start digging the ground up a little bit so that I can start farming. Speaking of which, did I read the farming book? It looks like I have. Yes, I've read Farming 1. Okay, good. I think I have like a trowel or a shovel in one of these. Feels sluggish. Oh, tired already? That makes sense. I believe we can just use a shovel for this. Dig furrow. Okay, so we'll just do a little bit over here. So there's two trains of thought here. Basically, I know that as far as the game is concerned, if I put crops next to each other, diseases can spread from one crop to the next in that line. I am fully aware that that is a fact. But also, I don't really feel like gaming it by actually separating the crops like that because I think it looks silly. So I'm going to just run them in a line, and if I have to deal with crop diseases, then I will deal with crop diseases. Again, don't really mind if you decide to do that in your game. Honestly, I recommend it, especially if you're struggling to survive long-term in Zomboid. Just, you know, put a gap in between every one of these furrows. It's no big deal. I'm just not going to do it because I think it looks a little silly. And I kind of like the neat lines a little bit more. By a little bit, I mean a lot. I know that my air quotes organization inside the house there might lead you to believe that I'm a disorganized and messy person, but I mean, I guess I kind of am. But I do have the kind of OCD for some things, and this is one of those things. I am not really willing to compromise on this, and I don't really think there's any reason to. Because, like, even if we lose crops to disease, or I have to go and get farming supplies to deal with it, I think that's fine. It adds a little bit more narrative, like, driven drama to the game. And it makes more sense. I mean, like, you know, for somebody with only a basic understanding of farming as Selena here, because obviously she doesn't have a background in it whatsoever. She's only read like a basic little, gardening book is probably the best way to describe the level 1 book, if I had to guess. I think that it's pretty reasonable that she'd be like, you know, well, this is what a farm looks like, right? You just, you know, dig up the ground in a line. Alright, and we're going to... I think we're just going to plant everything that we've got for right now. Let me think. How many lines did I just dig? 3 or 4? 3. Alright, so we'll do broccoli, cabbage, and carrot. And we don't have enough to do the whole line, but we can get more as long as we, Oh, well, we actually do, because they make a lot. God, it goes to show how much I do this, because how many do they use each? 9? No. 7? What's that? I think? No, 6, okay. Okay, so we're gonna grow, a crop of broccoli, a crop of cabbage, and a crop of carrot. Actually, maybe not the carrot. Maybe we should do potato instead. Nah, it's fine. Oh, oops. Right, I need to right click on the field. So seed, cabbage. Only issue with this now is that I have to water all these. Oh, oops, I need more. So, honestly, the way that, my friend does this, that also plays this game, and, I recommend this over what I'm doing here, is, to start your farm on a rainy day, when it's raining, because then you don't have to do the watering part. And the watering part is the most time-consuming and like effort-induced part of doing all this. Like, even with this relatively small farm here, this is gonna take a lot of time to water. So yeah, recommend that you do it in a more reasonable way of just waiting until it rains and then, you know, just doing that. Do I have anything that would be good for this outside of just like a big ass pot? I guess I could just use the pot for it. Just to show I don't do this farming crap a lot, so... Oh, right, the pot is being used for that. Do I have anything else good for this, then? No, doesn't look like it. Well, I mean, we're hungry, so let's just chow down and then fill it up. Get some nice bean residue out in the field. Yummy. So hopefully I should be fine. I mean, we're not exerted. We are very tired, though. That could be a slight concern. We'll just see how much this this ends up messing us up here. And yeah, one thing to note is that the farming skill doesn't actually, like, you don't gain anything from doing, like, any of this. I don't know if water... Does watering give you any farming XP? I mean, we'll see. It'll pop up. No, it doesn't. So yeah, the only thing that gives you farming XP is, like harvesting the crops when they're grown. So, if anything, that just goes to show that you can put off, like, getting the farming 1 book until you're ready to harvest. So you've got, like, plenty of time, even if you want to, like, get crops started early. Yeah, we're already using most of our water here. This is the only concern with the whole water collector thing, and it's why I should actually build more. I think I can build more, too, so I probably should. Is that, it takes a lot of water to water these. So, like, you can look at the info and it tells you, like, everything you know about it when it comes to, like, what there is. I think... I don't know how much water you need to get to, Oh, sorry. To, like, fine. Let me see if, like, 30 is good enough. Oh, it does tell you. Oh, this one's parched still. How's that possible? I thought I filled you up. Thirsty. Alright, fine. I'm just gonna try and get them to fine, because as long as they make it to a day with rain, then it doesn't matter. Oh, water. And I want to split this out, because you can see, like, I'm already going through all of my water here. In just this. Like, these crops need so much water. So obviously I don't have enough water for this, but, you know, whatever. Just deal with the consequences. We've got more seeds. You live and you learn, right? As I said at the start of this series, and, basically ever since, I'm no expert at this game. I'm a casual player, and, I think that shows. Because, I still make plenty of mistakes, all the time. Oh my god, I keep hitting escape instead of just clicking off, because I'm a genius. Alright, this is probably gonna be it for this, right? Yeah, we're gonna run out of water here. I'm just gonna fill my canteen up then, so that I have water for myself. And then, what do we have in reserve? How much water do we have? Not much. We'll use what we can. Get some of the crops going. I know that this is also kind of annoying because now the crops will be kind of like out of sync with each other because some of them will be growing because they have water, some won't. But it's what we've got for right now, so let's do it in smaller increments. Just get them up to like thirsty. I don't know the Jesus. Alright, there we go. Alright. Pot's out of water again. Oh, we're in pain. That's our exercise fatigue kicking in. It's fine though. I did it early in the morning, so it kicking in now is perfectly acceptable. What we'll do is we'll go across the street to our neighbor's house. Our neighbor being, you know, an empty house that I've torn apart for all sorts of different things, and we're gonna steal water from them. Because these should still have water in them from before the water shut off. So we will take advantage of that and use it to water our crops. A little bit of frame drops there for some reason. Don't know why that happened. No biggie though. Spooky bear. Let's do it in pens. You're thirsty now. Okay. I'm just getting like some of each going. The hopeful part of this is that that you know, come tomorrow or whatever, it just rains and then it's fine. You know, no harm, no foul. But yeah, I think this is about all we're gonna get for now. We watered like, you know, some of each. Good enough. Alright, so that's going to be it for what we've got going on here. We're not hungry, so that's good. Yeah, I can pack up the broccoli seeds, but the rest of these I can't. So I need something to store these seeds in. I need to start making boxes. I'll put them up here for now. This is a good place. These worms can be useful too. Put them there too. Okay, alright, I have more bulletproof vests I need to put away. Yeah, there's our firefighter stuff. I'm gonna leave that there for now. It's too hot for it. And we're not really going outside the walls, so we've got a lot of stuff to do around the base, so I'm not really too worried about making sure that our armor is tip-top. Is this like full? Put this watch there. And the camera, nice. Okay, so I'm gonna have Selena do a little bit of reading because I don't want her to get up too early. Actually, now that I look at it, we've been going for a couple days now, so I think I'm going to end this episode here. Sorry that this episode's been kind of just working around the base. If you find that, you know, a little dull, I understand. But, you know, surviving the apocalypse in this sort of game isn't always, you know, super fun action, running around fighting hordes and hordes of zombies. Everything that you do to set up your home position is just as important, so. Yeah, so thanks for watching. Don't forget that in the description is a link to the mod collection if you feel like playing along, as well as links to my Patreon and my Ko-fi. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you all in the next video.